So, yeah, it was pretty amazing. I can't, it's like trying to describe like what a strawberry tastes like, you know. It's indescribable. You need to see it. We went on the Inca Bridge and everything. We took the tour. The tour guy was great. Told us everything about, like, it was, these people were astronomers. Like, they knew stuff. And of course, right there, like, the gardens were still there with the medicines, what they grew, like the kind of medicines. Coca. Not to be, you know, it is where cocaine comes from, but I mean, like, they'd use, like, you can't go, and believe me, if you go to Machu Picchu anywhere in the Andes, Cusco, like, these places are in the elevations there, you know, like, you're 4,000 kilometers up, or 4,000 meters up, 4 kilometers. So, everybody chews coca. It's the only way around it. Otherwise, you're gonna be, you're sick. There's even the statues there, you'll see the bunches in there, like, because it's cut. Everybody's got to chew this stuff to be able to work during the day and everything. Or that's, you know, that's always just how it's been. So anyway, there's all these, like belladonna, which is dangerous. It'll kill you, but it also can get you really stoned. And the guy talked to us about ayahuasca and how that's something they knew, you know, and he asked us if they thought, you know, even the cannabis had something to do with it, and he thought so. He thought that, you know, that was something they had used, that had helped them build these for what reason, I don't know. Did you find any around there? I don't know. We didn't get into that. So, later that day, we came down the mountain. Again, the ride. That was fun. And we got to the little town, Machu Picchu town, and we went and gathered up our stuff, and we took a train back to Alente Tembo, and then back to Cusco, where we stayed the night in another little cool place that, and I ate koi that night, which is guinea pig, and that was really good. Actually, I don't know if it was good. I don't know what I thought of it. It was salty. It was kind of like, I don't know. It's not something I'd want to do often, and I'd have to be a little hungrier. But and I tasted alpaca, and as sweet and awesome as those animals are, do they ever taste good? And if I had to trade my meal, I would have went for the alpaca, which was what one of the other guys had. So yeah, after that, right from there, Cusco, off to the jungle. And I mean, of everything, and I mean, I'm not even getting into the hurdles that we went through, man. Like, Lee lost all the money at one point. The bank has seized his account. Oh my God, there was just turmoil all the time. And so anyway, but we're off to the jungle, Iquitos. And I mean, of the whole trip, of course, this is the part that's making me nervous, because everything is culminating up to that. I mean, not nervous. I mean, it's the crescendo. It's what the trip is all about. And we get there, and we get picked up in a cab. However, probably the only cab I seen for the rest of the time we were there. What I mean is, everybody drives motor cars. But this guy was sketchy, man. He was driving us around and around, and the place we were supposed to go to, the people weren't there, and that was you know, nerve-wracking. And eventually they showed up and everything worked out, but not before this guy was on the, you know, on his cell there talking to somebody. We could tell he was talking about us, and, you know, we had gear and stuff, so whatever. But, you know, all's well as ends well. We got some beers and we sat there. Or we take a breath for a minute here. We get to the place in Iquitos. However, it's late. It's like 11 o'clock. It's late. And this is like nowhere I've ever been. Like, this is, you know, and nobody speaks your language. It's you know, and including the guy that meets us there at the Amazon camp office, we'll call it. And I'm just trying to get through to him that, you know, we've got to get to this place tonight. This place is like 40 minutes up the Amazon River. Not up the road, up the river. And it's late. Like, okay? So I'm talking this guy into bringing us up the Amazon River at midnight, pretty much. Which I never thought in my life I would ever hear myself say or do. So we're going up the Amazon River at midnight. And holy McFuck. It's a rickety old boat. We're there, like, I mean, they did it. They got us to the port. We get out, it's like this shanty town. We get to the port, it's like it's, if you can imagine it, you're probably imagining it right, because it was as rustic as it gets. So we get on this boat. I mean, there's an inch and a half between the boat and the water. We're on the Nye River going onto the Amazon River. And so we cracked open some beers and made the best of it. And that's some of the best video of the whole show, and that's not in there either, and that's a shame. However, we did get to Amazon camp, and it was awesome. Like, it was this, you know, little shanty, I don't know, like, again, if you want to see it, go watch my vlog on my page, Chris Harrigan, on my other YouTube, and you'll see all this in there. I loved that place. And then we stayed the first day, and the night we got there, I mean, we drank right till, I don't know what time in the morning, but you know, my assistant was falling off the bed, and the host couldn't string a sentence of words together, and I'm sitting there with the camera trying to holding the camera steady at 4:30 in the morning, trying to get an interview out of this guy. Anyway, and then you know, we stayed there a couple days. We went through the jungle at night looking for like crazy shit, like poisonous whatever, anacondas and whatever. We found like, tons of bugs and lots of stuff. It was really neat. Spiders like as big as your hand. Next day we went around Monkey Island and all these crazy places. This sketchy zoo with these like big Amazonian fish that apparently can swallow you alive if you're small enough or if it's big enough. Like, I mean, just stuff you just never seen, you know. Well, and even though there was always what do you call this, piranhas in the river, and which I thought was crazy, everybody swimming in the river. Of course, I would, you know, I just seen too many movies. You could not catch me to do that. But yeah, we went fishing for some of them too. But anyway, yeah, we got the best of that little trip in the Amazon. I thought, like, you know, we got to see all the really cool stuff that I'll never forget. Snakes and anacondas, and went to Monkey Island. Monkeys were crawling all over us. And we were feeding them watermelon. It was amazing. I loved it. And then we went and we met our liaisons, people that, and this was the culmination of the trip. And we meet this crazy guy, man. Ian, I'll never forget him. I mean, this guy was just, he's on another level, man. Like, wow. But he's done DMT and ayahuasca and now Yopo like thousands of times. Like, at least the DMT and then the ayahuasca, I think, for the past, 5 years or however long he was there. And he makes DMT and so yeah, amazing meeting these people, and then we start meeting all these and suddenly we were these people, and suddenly we were like a clique, and it was like we were all meant to meet, and they were all meant to be in this film, and it was everything was great, and it was a challenge for me every step of the way. I had to visualize this film and who needed to be interviewed and when, and every little thing, what needed to be shot, how to shoot it, and and it's all just on the fly. I'm building this film in my head as I go. I just got to make sure I got this way to get to here, and a little stand up to get me here. And so all along the way, I'd stop Lee and say, okay, well, here we need to talk about this and what we're doing, and on and on. And it was very thrilling for me. I really, really enjoyed every minute, but it's very cognitive. I remember when I got back home there, I was so mentally drained. Anyhow, we're not home yet. So we spend a day in Iquitos and get to see it in a couple days maybe. No, I think it was just a day. And we headed out to the jungle. I can't remember if it was the second or third day. But anyway, we got there a little familiar. We went to the market, and the Balian market is like nothing. Nothing prepared me for that. What a the smells, and I mean, not all good, and just like, oh my God, like everything is sold there. Everything, every kind of thing from the jungle that people haul out of there, and it's medicines and oil and ayahuasca you can buy there, and you can buy San Pedro and just a multitude of things that I didn't even know existed. And it was, wow, I seriously can't wait to go back. I can't wait to go back. It's but the next day we headed out to Ian's, and this was the big day. And his girlfriend, who was like a shaman in training, and who leans towards Yopo. More on Yopo later. But if you want to see the Yopo experience, it's quite worth watching. Go to swearnet.com and you'll see that. Tripping with Lee, that's the name of the film they made out of it. Unfortunately, you won't see much of what I'm talking about. You'll just see drinking and drugs, and it just got boiled down to what they felt their audience wanted to see. And the audience for SwearNet is the Trailer Park Boys audience. So I mean, we're not talking, this isn't white collar comedy. So yeah, we went out to work. The day just, I mean, every part of this was magical, but this day was just came together, got up, we took the motor car down over there, Lee was raring to go, and what we did first is he went and did this frog venom, which it doesn't have any hallucinogenic value or anything like that. It just makes you sick for like a half an hour. But apparently it creates all these new antibodies in your system, and is fantastic for your health. And it helps with all sorts of things. They claim diabetes and ocular disorders and AIDS and just a plethora of stuff, So Lee had psoriasis, so he wanted to see if that could help that. And I'm here to tell you, I saw it disappear in front of my eyes in that half hour. And I filmed it, so it's there, it's clear. It starts out, it's super red, but I mean, it goes down to really just a light pink. And then they took the blobs off, and he comes back to normal there after hanging over a bucket, sweating his balls off there for a while. It didn't look like a very comfortable thing. He turned multiple colors at once. And then we went back to town and gathered some supplies, and by the time we got back to town, he seemed all right, and we had a bite to eat. And then we went to the shaman. It's ceremony night. And so we went to the shamans, and again, rickety old boat up a little stream. Nothing like the first time. This is like literally just a little stream. But when you got all that gear and stuff, and the dogs and the thing, and anyway. Yeah, because our liaisons brought their dog. So anyhow, so we get there, and all this in the movie, you can watch that. Lee he does the brew, and he goes through the experience, and And I filmed, and my assistant for 5 hours. The entire thing, threw up on his face, and it was everything I had expected it to be. It was, and always, like, you could feel the spirits in the room. I know that sounds strange, but I could, like, whatever, man, I could feel it. You felt like whatever was happening was like you were a part of it. But wow, it was really neat. It was really neat. But I mean, I wasn't on it, so I mean, I'm just watching this guy on it. And for the most part, he's just laying down and contorting and twitching and sweating and then purging a bit, and it's quite a thing to watch. So 5 hours, and at one point kind of snapped out of it and talked a bit, you know, and it was cool, and it was really just a really nice wind down, and I think some fruit was eaten, and then everybody went to bed for the rest of the night. And in the morning I interviewed Lee and got his perspective on what he had seen. And again, if you want to see that, go see the movie. So I just, after seeing that, like, essentially the movie was done at this point, because that was it. We were going home in a couple of days after that, but we were going to have our own experience, me and my assistant, and Lee partook too, so we all went for, like, you know, for one for all of us, you know, now that that's been done and that was shot. And so but we had asked for an extension, because Lee had, you know, it's like, wow, this was just like the most incredible thing ever, and we're not done. Like, there's still the San Pedro to do, and there's still the Yopo to do, and there's still 2 more ceremonies to do, potentially. And here we are. So I mean, let's just stay another 5 days, right? So we had put that out there, and we had sent this really cool picture of the night that Lee was on this there, and he's all, you know, straggled over and hair in his face, and it looked pretty, I think the word was apocalyptic now-ish there, like, so of course that motivated everybody, and we stayed. And what happened there was later that, okay, so we're not actually there yet. There, that day when I watched Lee go through that, I needed to see a little taste of this before I was personally going to go and commit the 5 hours of what I just saw this guy go through. Do I really want this? This is a chance of a lifetime. I'm here. He did seem very changed. It did seem to really comfort him, not scare him. So the logical thing to do was to go back to our liaisons and try DMT, smoke it. DMT is the active ingredient in ayahuasca. However, you find DMT in a lot of things, and what they use there mainly is chacruna leaves, and which contain DMT. But what ayahuasca does is it inhibits your stomach acids from destroying the DMT, which it does immediately. So it enables you to go into this space for hours. For some, it's different for different people. It depends what you're ready to experience, is my opinion. So we went back there, and I mean, now I'm looking at a 20-minute thing. I'm just jumping in and jumping out. Non-toxic, it's never killed anybody. Let's take a stab at this first. Let's go see what this is. And it happened so quick, man. It's like, you ready? Yeah, okay, well, right down the hall. Let's sit down. Okay, here's the pipe, here's the light. Okay, go. You gotta take 3 big puffs. And the first one choked me so bad. It took me 4 of them to get them all down. And then I knew I was not in Kansas anymore. Holy sweet mother. He lays me down, like, and I'm just like, oh my God, you know, what the hell? I look over and he's smiling at me, and it's a very different Ian that I had just been looking at, but still the same. Almost like a host into this world. And I blew out the smoke, and it was like fractals everywhere. But well, I mean, not as crazy as you would think, though. Like, I mean, it wasn't that, I wasn't there yet. And then all over the ceiling, those, like, the skulls, like those, I'll never forget, there's like those ones you see on the pyramids, like the skulls, the faces, and they were green and red, and they were going in different directions, and I knew I was like, this was a thing, like, I'm going somewhere here. This is not your acid trip. Like, this is something else. It's not an understatement of the year. So I just closed my eyes like he tells me to. Just go, he said. Just go, so I do. I closed my eyes. And it was like, it's very hard to remember, actually. Like, I remember bits, like, in pieces. Like, it was almost so astonishing that your mind almost has nowhere to put it. You're just, when you come out of it. But I do remember things within it, and I remember, like, it's like you're in a different realm, and you're being escorted around, or I was. And I look over, and it was like the most beautiful place in the world, and bright, and colorful, and there was this girl with a llama in her arm. And no sooner am I looking at her, this thing that's guiding me around, come on, it's pulling me, and I turn around and I see like something I don't want to see, like a demon or something, and it's like, no, like, don't pay attention to that, come on, keep coming. And then I getting zipped around this place, and almost like a roller coaster ride, like, of the spirit world. Like, it's the best I can really describe what I remember. And this is where the ride gets interesting, though. At the end, there is this wall. It's like this big, black, fuzzy wall. And it's death. Something's telling me this. This is death. And the next time you're here, if you'd like, we'll take you through. We'll show you what happens, like when you die. What death is about. I almost swallow my words when I say that, because some parts of me almost feel like I'm not supposed to really be talking about this, but, and not because of, because maybe some people aren't ready to hear what I'm about to tell them. So if you're clung to your views, like, this isn't my view. I don't believe what I'm going to tell you at some point in this story is necessarily true, but it's true for me now, because this is what I observed in my experience. So that being said, I'll just leave it at that. You know, this isn't, I'm at no time am I trying to impose a belief on what happens after you die. I can only tell you what I experienced through. So I'm at death, the death wall, we'll call it, and it says next time, you know, that will, I had a decision to make. And then I hear tick, 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 into white noise. and it's like, it brings me right back to the world, like the normal world. And I look over at Ian there, and I'm just like, am I back? You know? And it was that just in of itself was like, wow. And like within minutes, I was pretty, I was still buzzy there and stuff, but I was pretty much back to normal, as normal as I ever get. And so right after the other guy, my assistant there, he did it too and had his own wow experience. And it really is like, there's something like, it's like a completely different level of consciousness that you're a part of and you're able to tap into through these gateways that nature has given us. And maybe through vibrations, and maybe there's a ton of ways to get to these places in meditation and whatever. But it really, really did seem like it's tangible, the places you go. Like it's a real space. Like for me it was. Anyway, so I made my decision. I'm going to do my ayahuasca. Yeah, this is phenomenal. It was very abrupt, or like, like it grabbed you and shook you. Where ayahuasca is not like that. So anyway, we went to a different shaman though for ours. Just a bit of a misunderstanding over money. The shaman from the last one, he wanted more money, and I think there was a misunderstanding. We didn't mind giving him more money, but we just decided to go to somebody else just to, have completely clean slate. So we did, and it was awesome. We went, well, it was even better in my opinion. There was no toilets and stuff there. Like the first guy had, all the fixings. And if you wanted Casa Mama, I'll put a link to anybody that ever wants to go see the shaman. The first guy, he was really sweet. He was a really cool guy. He had a really great voice for the Icaros, which I'll tell you more about after. So here's how it all went down. The big day, we went and got our, some supplies, and our guides came with us, and our whole little clique was there now. And that night I had met a doctor, a pharmaceutical professor from France, who partook in the ayahuasca experience. Anyhow, I'll get back to that. But anyways, cool meeting these people from France, because I speak French. I'm from Eastern Canada, so my mother is French Canadian, and so that was kind of cool. Although our French is different, eh? Like the French were the first people over in North America from Europe, that settled here in Canada. So the dialect changed and stuff. So it's kind of neat when you run into other people. So anyhow, we get there, we settle in, and but this shaman, he doesn't allow filming. So that was great, because it kind of took the pressure off me to try to get any footage of it. Although we did get footage going in. Certainly, we got as much footage. We always got as much footage as we could. Anyhow, we got to the shaman, and it was the first guy. He let us do it at 8 o'clock. The second shaman was a lot more by the book. You know what I mean? No filming. Like, even if we'd offered him extra money, well, maybe he would have done it. But he really seemed pretty adamant about it. And by the way, this guy, what was really cool about him is, like, you go down the Amazon River for, I don't know, 40 minutes, a good long ways. And it's such a nice ride there. You got the canopy thing, and there's pink dolphins, and yeah. And the people are really nice all over Peru. Everywhere I went, especially there too, like the Amazonian people, like, because everywhere they look a little different. Like Lima to Cusco to, and oh my God, the whole time I'm telling you guys this, I can't wait. I really can't wait to go back. Like everything is yearning inside me. But I digress. So we had actually ran into the shaman on the way. So okay, yeah. So you go out the river a long time, then you walk up this big ass set of steps up into like, I mean a village. When I say a village, we're talking like 5 houses there. Like, and then there's some there's just spotted little villages, and it's like a sidewalk. That's the road, but at least it's paved, and we got a motor car, and you go and you ride up the into the jungle. There's little shanty towns to right, to the left, here and there, and then you run out of road, and then you keep going, and then that's it. Now it's a walk. So now you walk another. Oh, and by the way, that's a good 40-minute, well, probably half-hour drive on the motor car into the jungle. I still can't believe I did this shit. So we get into the jungle, and now we're walking further into the jungle. And I mean, you know, as scared as I was of the jungle, or like being from Canada, I got to thinking later on that really, like, you're probably a lot more likely to get eaten by something. Well, I don't know. Everything's poisonous there. But the thing is, nothing's really trying to get you. You know, nothing's trying to eat you. It just, but here, it's not really the case. You know, like here, you got bears, and you got badgers, and you got, you know, everything is capable. A beaver will fucking kill you, man. A beaver will kill you. Its teeth chops down trees, man. Like, and I saw a video of a guy once teasing a beaver, and the beaver went up, bit him right in the leg. He died because he bled to death. He found the camcorder. At least I think it was a real video, but it sure seemed real. But there, you know, you got big cats. That's one thing that'll kill you. And then, the Bushmaster. The Bushmaster, the people there are afraid of it because there's no antidote. This thing bites you, it's a snake, you're dead. That's it. You're fucked. You know, you can get bitten by a tarantula, your arm will swell up. There's lots of different things that can bite you. But not, I think most of them, there's antidotes and stuff. You know, anacondas, they don't have venom, they have teeth. Like, they'll eat you. And a boa will like squeeze you to death and then eat you. But I don't think I have much interest in any adults.